Hi Scorpio, welcome back for your November reading. If you are new, welcome. If you're returning, hello again. Now, if you're wanting to make a booking, you can go to the link below. I also have all my social media information directly below if you wish to follow. Otherwise, we'll get straight into the reading. Okay, now I've pulled the cards ahead of time. I will pull the clarifiers as I go. I have pulled chakra cards and I'll hyperlink it directly into your entirety of your reading. Now, I've also have a section here for those of you who are on the fence connected to a connection or a road. So this may apply to yours as well. Okay, so this month you've got grounding and relationships. Now, trying to get the moral compass connected to which way to go. Also using your intuition connected to what you think is right, what way to go, and what relationships and how these relationships meet your spiritual needs, whether you are or they are, and how it all fits. It can also be old energies coming up from the past to be reassessed, as well as people from the past actually coming back. Now, when it comes to your wealth area, you have peace. Now, when it comes to employment, some of you may return to an old employer. Others of you are wanting to have a peaceful connection within employment. You're also, I'm hearing the peace fairy connected to abundance. It's like you're making a truce. It's kind of funny download. Now, spiritually speaking, connected to a spiritual connection, you may have lost money. For some of you, there might be peace. That's one message. For others of you, it can be your wealth that you're wanting to put into you and your future has nothing to do with home, has nothing to do with you aging. It's for a particular use, this money is, but it might directly just be for children. But it's an aspect of security as per se, but it's not really for one area, it's for a large plan. So some of you might be saving for a large item or a business related dynamic, but I feel you're looking at money very differently. You're being very practical. Now, it may be that you realize time is short in life, and you're looking at your relationships and placing a direct value on everything and anything you're doing. So it can be a very psychoanalytical energy coming through where you're assessing everything. You know, what is the worth? How much does it weigh? How much energy do I put here? How much energy am I actually getting back? And you're really making an assessment. Now, in some shape or form, you didn't feel home connected to a place you worked at, and some of you might have moved. Others of you might directly be going back to an old place of employment, you know, where initially you may not have felt at home, or you might have left a previous one to go to another old one, but it feels movement in the work domain. Some of you also are upskilling or investing in your future. So it's a bigger plan. It's more investing in self to invest in the bigger plan. Now, when it comes to your happiness, creating a different body story can create a different body. It can be you're doing some healing work. It might be that you're clearing your chakras. It can be that you're looking at yourself in a different way and you're having a better relationship with your body. It might be that you're changing some situations and you're placing yourself in value. Now, the gift is inside, not outside, so it feels internal and more heart chakra and emotional, and you're seeing things in a very different light. And I feel you're seeing your own personal needs in a very different light, and you may actually realize that a lot of your happiness you felt you were experiencing was more through other people's eyes than directly what you felt was happy for you. Now, it can be that that was a battle, and you know, going through the dark aspects of it, experiencing some dynamics in your life. You've actually done a 360 and you're wanting more deeper spiritual connections, as well as you do want to feel grounded, and you seriously, you have become used to not knowing where you're going, But you'd like to have that luxury now. You'd like to actually know what way the compass is pointing and in what direction you're going. And I feel it's been like this a little bit too long. And now you're sort of looking at it saying, okay, where can I take my power back and actually guide this compass to a location I'm choosing to go? What you're not seeing. Now you had 2 cards fall out for this area. I will visualize well-being simply for the joy of visualizing. So get into that kind of mindset of it. It can just be having a cup of tea on your porch, watching the flowers grow, something that becomes a traditional, natural way of being. The more you accept that that's your vibration and who you are to the core, do something in a sense that is very much for you. What you're going to get out of it is very different. So some of you might be upskilling and it directly will impact your mindset completely. Some of you also, by choosing a different path, connected to career and what physically makes you happy, this naturally is going to have an internal transformation without you seeing it happen. When my good thoughts chronically feel good, my body thrives. So again, it can be food agitations or food allergies that, you know, had affected you, and it might have been from previous relationships or from you not feeling grounded. You may have ended up getting like allergies or ailments connected to food. Try and be grounded when you're eating, and it's going to help actually have that food digest. So it can be sort of like agitated tummy when you're eating, and just not feeling grounded when you're eating, and having to be cautious about what you're choosing. Again, I'm not a dietitian nor a doctor, so if this is something you're experiencing and you feel it's off and it needs addressing, see a specialist, see a doctor, or follow it through. Now, also, you guys, again, may see someone that you haven't seen in a very long time. This, for some of you, can be a past tense lover, past tense partner, and there's been a lot of room to grow, a lot of room to heal. You're making room in your life to be open to communicating with people from the past. Now, any actions you're guided to take, any situations that may be changing, getting a very different story from this card. Now, some of you might be looking at tests. Now, being a psychic intuitive, I always get different stories regardless of what's written on there. And the first story I'm getting is energy connected to childbirth, children. So it can be your ovaries, bladder, kidneys. Pay attention to that area. Some of you might be getting tests in that area. Others of you who are concerned about having children, the response is yes, you can. It will happen. That's for some of you. Some of you might be fearing that a child is coming. But what you're guided to do is also look at your childhood. Any blocks connected to relationships you had, especially with your family members, the key is not in your childhood, it's in their childhood of how they became who they were. So if you didn't feel connected within relationships, it might not be 100% your energy. Now, this can go vice versa as well. It can also be if you haven't heard from someone and you're wondering why they react in the way they do, why their blocks are so profound. Again, I'm hearing family. So it may be that you're mirroring each other, but you're just not seeing that for this point. Now, for some of you, you might be waiting and you might need to be patient for a transformation, as well as, you know, you might be feeling you've done the work, or you feel you've done a lot of work in this area connected to family and there's been no transformation. Some of it is connected to divine timing. It's more, it might be coming up in your mind, and you might need to be patient for that transformation or that to come about if you're wanting a child. So yes, for some of you, otherwise book a reading and I can tune into you directly. Still look at your rising signs. Now, couples, there is a quick change. Now, this can be connected to your health. It can be if you're wanting children. There's a quick change. There's something changing about, and it's going to be like lightning. It's going to be very passionate. For some of you, you might have heated arguments. external, not necessarily within the connection. And again, you're looking at relationships and what way to go, how to deal with things. Now, in the past, there was a fresh start. Now, you might have given this person a second chance, or you might be considering another person to give a second chance. Some of you, there's two energies in relation to the way you're looking. Presently speaking, you're concerned someone's going to take something from you, be it money, especially since money is an area that is transforming for you. Happiness, you know, somebody from the past, however you feel this directly connects to you. It's concerns of things being taken from you. And again, due to you feeling unhinged, not grounded, I would do some base chakra work as well to feel that energy, but you'll find it'll be very separate. Your intuition is seeing something and it's reminding you of a base chakra moment. Now, in the heart of your reading, it is going to be a change for the better, whatever you're deciding to do. Now, moving forward, whatever decision you make, you're going to need to meditate on what to do after that fact, I'm being told. So it's not necessarily getting to a point you've made a decision. It's, okay, after the fact you've made the decision, how do you get from A to B? That's what I'm hearing. So that may be a particular message for some of you, or it might be in general. Some of you have felt this has been a real mission. You may have had a lot of history, or you might be thinking of traveling. Okay, so although something is happening very quickly, it may be a trip, it might be a journey. Now, this can be external to the relationship, but it's what's happening that's directly impacting the relationship. Now, the fresh start might have been you changing mindsets, learning something, understanding what happened, and then you saw it from another person's point of view and there was a fresh start. For some of you, it might be that you're changing your whole life, and it is changing the vibration within the connection because you're changing your work, you're changing your mindset, you're changing your eating perhaps. Just there's a lot of change around you. Now, where there was a change, it was due to communication. Some people might have talked to you to help you get grounded, to help you see perhaps how you were feeling, or supporting you during your transition. It's strange. I feel some of you, there's two messages coming through. It's like you're concerned about this direct connection, but there's another vibration. So it may be that there's two people that are interested in you that you're none the wiser of, and you might have at a point thought about them, but it feels that energy around you. Now, however this goes, any concerns that you have within your current relationship, you're really going to communicate this through to them and tell them how you're directly feeling. You're going to take responsibility within your connection and explain that you're really feeling off hinge and out of balance, and it might be due to some misunderstandings. Now, although you're going to be meditating upon it, it is connected to this deep connection you have. So regardless, you are taking this situation very seriously. You're trying to deal with it in a very mature way, and you're trying to get some guidance. So I feel you're talking to external and internal as well as partner. Now, those of you who are on the fence, you may be being very critical towards the situation, or it might be a very critical situation that you do have to make a decision. Now, some of you may be experiencing a point where you're either dealing with divorces or contracts or legalities, and you're having to make a decision. It might be a time frame that's moving, and suddenly you're having to make a decision. You do know how it's going to go, so you are semi-prepared, but you're waiting for either your verdict or another, but it's just you haven't applied your energy to it. But many of you are going to make a judgment this month. Now, I will do mid-month readings, but I'll try and do weekly as well, so I'll see how I go. Singles, okay. Now, as I said, in your position where the unseen is there, you do have a potential of a person from the past coming up in your mind or physically coming back. Now, it is crowning your reading. This can be a very deep spiritual connection. Now, in the past, you really did follow your intuition. Some things you saw happening, some things you wished you didn't see, but you intuitively knew something was changing. Now, presently speaking, you may feel there's an imbalance and an injustice, and it may be that they're going through dynamics at the moment. Now, in the heart of the matter, there was a lot of lying. You can also be lying to yourself that you've walked away from them when you spiritually know you love them. Moving forward, there is love, but I do feel your energy having a left or right. And again, I do feel there are potentials around you that are keen that aren't speaking. I feel they're in the shadows at the moment. Some of you might already know who these people are. Okay, now, there might have been, although the connection is here spiritually, there might have been another person involved, or you might have known them from when you were young, however it's going to apply. Now, with your intuition, you were being mature about the situation. It might have been completely to do with you and them, but in their mind, they may look at it very differently. There were other dynamics at play, but I think as they get more grounded, they understand that factor. It was more you and them. Decisions might have been based on you, them, and children, for those of you who that relates to. Presently speaking, although there's an injustice, it may be that they feel in a mental prison, or they physically did end up in prison, however it relates. This can be your energy as well, where you're feeling mentally trapped, you know, looking at the relationship, not feeling grounded. How do I go about this? What's going on? You know, it wasn't happy. It wasn't a happy time when you went through this energy where you were lied to. But there is love coming in, and it is going to be very abundant. So I'll love you and leave you there. Again, thank you. And if you are wanting to make a booking, you can go to the link below.